Bloody Volvo drivers, hey? It's a tag that has stuck with the Swedish car company for decades. But this car, the all-new XC90, is one that could potentially change it from derision to envy. And we're here in Spain to give the XC90 its first taste test before it arrives in Australia later this year. So let's see if it's actually good enough to change that perception. Well, this is unequivocally the most important new car from Volvo in decades. Not only is it going to determine the future success of the company, particularly in this critical SUV market, it also forms the underpinnings of all new Volvos coming in the next couple of years. It's built on a brand new scalable architecture which will also form the S90 and V90 luxury cars to come, and then the 60 series below it. The XC90 will be available with 3 different grades of Volvo's new 2-litre 4-cylinder engine family. The first to arrive in August will be the D5 and T6 models. This one we're riding in here is the flagship T8 model, and it's a bit of a technical masterpiece. In this one, it's got a supercharged and turbocharged 4-cylinder 2-litre that produces 235 kilowatts of power. Plus, it's got a 60 kilowatt electric motor for a total of 295 kilowatts and a not inconsiderable 640 newton meters of torque. Now, at the moment we're running in fully electric mode, so it's quite serene and comfortable around town. Now, there's 5 driving modes. You can have it in pure, which is, as it says, pure electric. You can have it in hybrid, where it taps into both the petrol and electric motor, or power, where it uses all of the performance available at its disposal. Then there's an all-wheel drive mode, which uses a bit more of a softer throttle and the electric motor in the rear axle to get you through the muddy stuff. And then there's an individual setting where you can tailor all of the suspension, steering weight and throttle and gear mapping. As for how it performs, well, it's a bit hit and miss in some areas. In terms of performance, it absolutely does what it says on the box. It's very refined. The engine is quite strong. It's got a very linear power delivery, which is nice. You can't actually feel a change of the switch from the supercharger to the turbocharger, and it revs cleanly all the way to the top end. But the XC90 is still a heavy car, tipping the scales at over 2 tonnes. As such, the 8-speed automatic in the T8 often hunts for the right gear under acceleration, and the switch between petrol and electric propulsion is quite noticeable. At least that is if you're keeping an eye on the tacho, because in all other situations the 8-speed automatic is rather smooth in the way that it shifts. As for the rest of the package, this T8 that we're driving is on the optional air suspension system. It's not quite as floaty as that suggests. There's still a little bit of harshness over sharp edge bumps, and mainly because it's got big 20-inch wheels, so a lot of unsprung mass that it has to control. But generally it's a fairly relaxed car to drive. It's certainly not trying to be a sporty SUV like the BMW X5. There's a little bit of body roll through the bends, and the steering, well, doesn't have a lot of feedback, but it is relatively precise. The highlight of the XC90 though is inside this cabin. It is absolutely gorgeous and really sets a benchmark for this class. Chief among the highlights is this new iPad style center stack. The tablet type screen offers a myriad of functions, from sat-nav, audio and vehicle settings, and integrates them all in a logical manner. The features can be accessed by swiping through a series of pages, and you can even pinch and zoom in the nav, just like an iPad. It also houses a high-res reverse camera, which offers a clear view when using the automated parking system, which now features both parallel and perpendicular parking functions. And from a packaging point of view, this is a really smart car for its class. There is plenty of space, there's good headroom all around, the seats are really comfortable, and even in the back there's a huge amount of space. More importantly though, as a 7-seater, the third row isn't compromised very much at all. In fact, the 2 rear seats are exactly the same size as those in the second row, and there is a generous amount of legroom, enough for adults to sit in there quite comfortably. Well, I'd have to say this brand new XC90 is an impressive machine, not only from its driving characteristics and its fuel efficiency, but most importantly from its practicality and the presentation of its interior. It certainly sets a new benchmark in those areas. And when it arrives in Australia later this year, it will certainly put a cat amongst the pigeons in this luxury SUV class.